Hello. Welcome back to another episode of The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, Season 1, Episode 4 review. This episode is certain to cause controversy. Warning, there's a huge spoilers ahead, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Fans and critics alike frequently write off The Walking Dead's second season as one of the worst ones. It was more sedate, mostly centered in one place, and there was commotion behind the scenes related to Frank Darabont's conflicts with AMT. Herschel's farm provided the show with some of its most memorable moments, although it isn't as revered as some of the seasons that come after it or the one before it. I admit that I'm just as guilty as anybody for writing this season off, but it did something different from later seasons in that it focused a lot on the psychological toll that survival has on those trying to survive the zombie apocalypse. This emotional anguish is discussed in some moments, even episodes, but as The Walking Dead gained popularity, those moments became fewer and less in depth. The fourth episode of The Ones Who Live, delves deeply while incorporating elements from the first 3 episodes of the show. After seeing Rick and Michonne's activities over the last 8 years, it's time to assess the true extent of their damage from their protracted separation and their joint attempts to get back together. Terming it a bottle episode is contemptuous. There is undoubtedly only one main location, and most of the episode features minimal spectacular effects compared to the typical Walking Dead televisual universe program. But most bottle stories aren't as captivating or fascinating as this one. Has the air of The Walking Dead trying their hand at a spin-off of the Richard Linklater Before trilogy, steering clear of the typical soap opera frippery and zombie action. It will most likely divide people, but Donna Guerrera is the reason behind this powerful television episode, which is one of the most engaging and profound ones in this universe. She's always had a stunning appearance and an eye-catching face, and The Walking Dead has always relied on her acting prowess to convey emotional depth without revealing too much of it. She excels at maintaining an expression of indifference or stonewalling despite having a lot going on behind her eyes. She has the chance to showcase more of her acting range in this episode, and she takes full advantage of it. Although acting Emmys aren't usually awarded to shows like The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, she will undoubtedly be considered for this year's Saturn Awards. After taking the Nestia leap from a moving aircraft into a body of water, Rick, who is not a slouch himself in this episode, and Michonne emerge and find themselves in what is essentially a modern home. There's a Roomba and a smart thermostat, and every light seems to be turned on by people walking by. After, falling out of a helicopter, it's the ideal spot to relax. The opportunity to catch their breath is a great way for Rick and Michonne, who are both carrying a lot of baggage from the previous episode, to pick at each other and try to figure out what the heck is going on in their relationship and why Rick is so set on pushing Michonne away after she worked so hard and caused so many deaths trying to get him back. The two get into a verbal altercation almost immediately, with Michonne slyly telling Rick that she won't be the one to tell his kids that she went to all that trouble to find him, and he refused to return. Reiterating that they must shield them from the CRM, and, if at all possible, divert the path of the ferocious beast away from Alexandria and everyone he knows and loves, Rick digs his heels in and pushes Michonne away once more. Michonne consistently refutes his assertion, referring to it as garbage. She is the only one who is prepared to confront him when he lies to himself and to herself. It seems that Rick was unaware of RJ, which is why Michonne hasn't mentioned him to his father yet. Nevertheless, she is prepared to use him as a club to coerce Rick into making a physical and psychological comeback. Rick pushes back hard, telling Michonne that he had warned her to keep her identity a secret from the start and that she had disobeyed, bringing attention to herself at every opportunity by shattering the record for the most zombie kills and saving Thorne during the RDIM incident back at base. He's attempted to protect her and make sure she can still escape at every opportunity, but she's made it harder and harder for him to do so. Because Jaddy's saved his life and is well versed in Alexandria, she is able to protect Rick and maintain his involvement in the CRM while also keeping herself safe. The CRM threat won't go away if she is killed. Rick believes that the question is not if the CRM will pay attention to Alexandria and company, but rather when. When you get the CRM's attention, Michonne has personal experience with what happens next: poison gas from a low-flying helicopter generally. She will not return home empty-handed though, having spent a year recuperating from the mustard gas attack with Nat. especially now that Rick and Miss Xian have the ideal opportunity to flee thanks to the wrecked remnants of the helicopter lodged in the side of the exact structure they are hiding in. A burning helicopter disaster where the dead can rise and move around after they die doesn't leave any tangible evidence for a curious person to search for. Thank you for watching.